Kayley here. I am back with some more DIYs, and this time they are on home organization slash decoration. I have a pantry that has glass cabinet doors. I don't know who thought that was a good idea because you can see everything, but now it's forcing me to not only be organized but make it pretty. So this is the before, and it is like the most beforiest before you've ever seen. It is a mess. So I'm gonna fix it, and I'm gonna show you guys 3 DIYs that I'm going to use to make this thing more organized and more beautiful. Hello, and welcome to my insanely messy pantry.
Obviously, the first thing I had to do is take everything out of there, so I removed everything and then sprayed down the shelves and wiped them down. So for the top shelf, I just tackled my massive tea collection. This was mostly empty boxes at this point that were just piled high. So I went through, cleaned out a lot of those boxes, and then for the boxes where I still had tea, I organized it into this really pretty tea container from World Market. And then I just had to take the cereal boxes out. I put the cereal into clear plastic boxes that keep it better, and that was it for the top shelf. And that's all I did for those. So let's move on to the actual DIY elements, shall we? I started by popping out all of the shelves from my pantry. I got very lucky that these just came right out so I could just do the back in one fell swoop. I used some wallpaper from Riffle Paper Co. and I basically just stuck that to the wall. I use these things called Zots, which are double-sided little adhesive tabs that you usually use for scrapbooking. But I used them to stick this Riffle Paper Co. wrapping paper to the back of my pantry wall. And then all I had to do was put the shelves back in, and I was immediately obsessed with how this looks. I love the extra color, I love the girliness of the florals, it just made me super duper happy. And now let's move on to my spice rack DIY. I decided to kind of make my own spice jars so that all of my jars could look the same. I started with just plain glass jars, and then I grabbed a Sharpie paint pen in an extra fine tip, and I wrote the name of the spices on each of the bottles. Now, the great thing about this paint pen is that if it comes out wrong, you can just wipe it off immediately. And within like 5 minutes, it just comes off right away. So if you spelled something wrong, if your handwriting didn't look good, wipe it off, you're good to go. Now, after the paint sets, you can still remove it with hot water and soap. I like that about it because I can always be changing out my spice rack and I'm not fully committed. But if you wanted to be fully committed, you just have to use a clear sealer on top of it. And then for my bigger jars, I did the same thing but with a fine point because it was a little bigger and it matched the size of the jars better. Once that was done, I just popped in a spice rack and lined everything up. I love how this turned out because it's uniform, it's alphabetized so I can actually find my spices now, and it just makes me feel more excited to cook. And finally, it's time for basket makeover because these wicker baskets are not good for holding food. If you spill food in there, you can't get it all out, so then you get bugs and germs. It's bad. So I replaced them with these plastic ones from the Container Store. They're actually a little bigger too, so that helps. So I just sorted everything into the new baskets, but I don't want the system to fall apart like it did last time because I didn't label anything. I forgot which baskets were for which, so this time I'm making pretty labels for each of the baskets. I started out with these frames that I got from the dollar store. These are for like place cards or something like that, and I just went ahead and removed everything that was inside of them. So get rid of the glass, get rid of the backing, get rid of those funny little pictures that come with it, and that way you just have the frame. And now I'm just gonna paint them. So first I primed it to get it all ready, and then I used gold spray paint to make these gold. And obviously you could do whatever color fits you and your color scheme. Once the frames were dry, I went ahead and printed out my labels. I had to cut them down to size and then put them back in just like you would put in a picture frame with the glass and the backing and everything. And then I just popped the little kickstand off the back of the frame because I figured that would get in the way of gluing it to the basket later. Once your frames are all ready, just grab your hot glue gun, coat the back of this in a little bit of hot glue, and stick it to the basket. I found that I had to hold it for a few seconds before it kind of cooled into place, but once it did, these were done and ready to go. I think the basket organizing system is really helpful because you don't have to have everything perfectly in place, but it is more organized and easy to find this way, especially now that things are labeled. I'm not going to be putting them back in the wrong baskets anymore. And that is my pantry makeover. I cannot get over how different it looks. It looks so much more organized, so much more beautiful. It makes me smile now. And that's the whole reason to really get creative and try new things, is to bring more happiness into your home. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Try this out in your closets or your medicine cabinets or whatever. You can use these little jars for I don't know, Q-tips and bobby pins. You can use the baskets for your clothes. Just get excited, try it out, see if you like it. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to check back Saturday for my next hair tutorial, and I'll see you then. Mwah. Bye.